Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I, oogity boogity. Did I scare you?
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Man, this would be great if this was our first October episode.
I mean, it's close.
It's pretty close. This is going to go out the day before October.
Yeah, it's right on the cusp. Also, happy belated birthday. Last time we recorded it's early birthday, now it's belated. It's all wonk. It's all weird.
My birthday didn't actually happen on any proper podcasting day, so no extra theatrics or memes as far as I'm aware. Unless don't do this to me right now, boy.
Shaun?
Ram.
All right, for your birthday.
No, Ram.
I've gotten you a lovely April Fool's episode.
Oh no, Ram, we can't.
The premise of this one.
All right. Yeah, no, please. Anything?
Is that, unlike all the other April Fools, you show me something for a change.
Oh, I see. So we're just going to do a normal episode then. Interesting. Wow. Insane. What a bit. What an insane bit.
Happy birthday, Shaun.
Cool. God, by that logic, I should take this as an advantage to switch gears and just watch something that I genuinely enjoy and want to watch without it being constricted to anime. But nah.
I mean, it'd be a decent excuse if ever there was a time. It's your birthday.
That is true. Like, I could force you to watch, like, all of Vox Machina and see what you think of that, and that would be pretty entertaining for me. But unfortunately, I'd like to actually put a little bit more prep work into that because you know how I am with my D&D stuff. So no. It'll just be a normal episode for now, and I'm sure you just want to keep Zootopia all to yourself. That's fine. Still haven't seen it. Probably never going to at this rate. So instead, Remington, what we're going to watch today, and especially if we're going to part the kimono a little bit, we are doing a batch recording right now. So we are cramming it together right now. So we need. Oh
yeah, cramming with the boys. I love cramming the homies.
God, if we were on YouTube, we'd be demonetized immediately for that. Oh wait, we are on YouTube. Fuck. Oh well, it's fine.
Yeah, but that's not. If you're one of the 10 people who listen on YouTube, I don't know how many are. They're not many. That's an option. You know, it's there.
It's there for people who like YouTube or have like a YouTube Premium subscription. You know, less ads makes sense. But that's besides the point. Point I'm trying to make is, what point am I trying to make, Rem?
It's a great question.
I've lost my train of thought. I've completely lost the mark. What was
Normally, I would talk some mad shit, but because we're celebrating your birthday, I will forgive you.
Oh, I see. Well, point regardless, to explain that we're doing a lot at one time, I'm just gonna we're really packing in a bunch of variety in this recording session that we're doing.
Yeah, pack it in with the boys.
Yeah, and last week we covered a very popular Ghibli movie, but it was pretty old by all standards.
So now we're doing something new, something fresh.
Correct.
For the kids.
Hey, Rem, if this is for the kids, we're in trouble.
Oh.
You sound scared.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, to put it in perspective, it is new as of this summer 2023. It's its most recent season. Wait, is it summer? No, excuse me. It is spring of 2023? Yeah, spring of 2023, but it dipped into summer a little bit. That makes more sense. So still pretty recent because, you know, gotta sandwich these things. And I'm gonna keep it pretty straightforward and easy going for you, Rem, on this one. Hey, Remington, what's the most important thing in a relationship?
The most important thing, it depends which relationship, like your relationships, because that'll be a different answer.
Okay, let's broaden the scope a bit. Starting a relationship.
Okay. I think it is very important for neither party to be committing genocide.
Very good, Remington. You hit the nail on the head.
I think
I'm so proud of you.
It's pretty high up on my list in any relationship I get into. You gotta check.
If they've committed at least one genocide, then you got to really reevaluate.
Just be on the lookout for that or other war crimes.
Other war crimes are available.
Yeah, so just be mindful of those.
Just be mindful and really compare how cute are they in comparison to the war crimes. You gotta have balance.
One war crime per 1 unit of cute. That's the tolerance. As per what counts as 1 unit of cute, I think whatever we answered would end up being wildly problematic, so I'll leave it ambiguous.
Yep, that works for me. Hey, Death fans, how you doing?
That means nothing.
Oh, don't worry, it will eventually. Not today, but eventually.
All right, so what are we doing today?
Okay, so Remington, while genocide is an important thing to qualify in starting a relationship...
Or the lack thereof.
Or the lack thereof, yes. Very similarly, I would say the most important thing for more normal people in a relationship is consent.
Yeah, that's up there. That's definitely up there.
Yeah, no, and not only is it the most important thing, but it's also the most attractive thing, right?
So all right, I'm getting concerned, but continue.
So today we've got a little comedy slice of life romance anime for you.
Oh no.
And it's simply titled Rokudo no Onatachi.
Cool.
Any guesses on what that could mean, Rem?
Fuck Remington, he's gonna die.
Nah, Remington, not exactly. The direct translation is pretty easy. It directly translates to Rokudo's bad girls.
I'll be honest, I think my translation was pretty damn accurate.
Like I said, you were pretty close. Pretty close. It's just wrong name and just, not quite the right verbiage.
It was one of those where it's like the literal translation was off, but the meaning was there.
You saw beyond the veil. You can type anything into Google Translate and get an approximate translation, right? But unless you really know the language, you're gonna have a hard time getting the proper contextual translation of it,
All right, so what the fuck is all the bad girl? What are they about? What's going on?
Man. So it's about main character Tosuke Rokudo, and he is a well, how to put this politely? Wimpy bitch-ass nerd.
Oh, okay. All right. It's your birthday, so I'm not going to make any jokes.
I feel like by saying that, you are, in fact, making a joke, sir.
Excuse me? I very deliberately made no joke.
We'll see how quickly that lasts when we...
No promises in the second half.
Yeah, first half, it's anybody's game, but, second half is when promises get broken. And it's about this guy, and he is just constantly bullied by the girls in his school because, he's a bit of a wimpy bitch-ass nerd kid.
But he's into it.
Hard to say at this point, actually.
Oh, okay, wait. He's not overtly into it, but all of the weebs watching are into it because he's being harassed by attractive women. And it's one of those things where it's like, the character doesn't need to consent because I would consent if I was in that scenario.
Unfortunately, you're both correct and incorrect.
Oh, all right.
It's more complicated than that, Rem, because the story starts with us being introduced to his very unfortunate situation of being harassed and, quite frankly, bullied by all these people around him. But one day, after his grandfather passes away, he is bequeathed a magical scroll.
Oh, how wildly unnecessary.
Yes. Which, upon looking on it, the scroll marks him, and he has a strange effect on those around him. Well, he still gets bullied, Rem. However, suddenly
it's horny.
And all the girls are very possessive of him. And this is the romantic comedy structure we're going into. It's a bunch of hard-ass bully delinquent girls both falling for and picking on this wimpy boy, and he has two friends that are there sometimes. It's an experience, Rem. It's an experience from a most recent season, and I felt like it would be a nice bookend to the fairly wholesome movie we watched last week in comparison. So, let's just get it out of the way. Get it out of the way, because people say we should do more seasonal stuff, and you know what? I'm nothing if not generous with what I do.
Sure. Okay,
fans.
yeah, let's jump the fuck in then.
hey, Rem, you never know. You might be able to find some nuance in this show that will change your perspective on it forever.
Theoretically possible.
Just not super likely. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's go watch some Rokudo no Onatachi, or Rokudo's Bad Girls. And we are back after watching 3 whole episodes of Rokudo no Onatachi, or Rokudo's Bad Girls. And Remington, was it as bad as I made it sound like, or was there actually a glimmer of hope hidden within the 3 episodes you had to watch?
All right, so my major concerns based on the entire description
Right.
was that this was going to be the horniest trash I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
Correct, yes.
It is not that. It is not. It's hard. It's not very horny.
Oh, yeah.
From the 3 episodes, it's not very horny.
Yeah, it didn't have the ecchi tag, so I don't know why you were worried.
Okay, all right, sir. You don't know why I was worried? Rokudo's Bad Girls. Like, I mean, I feel like it's somewhat self-justified. However, it wasn't very horny. It's not netchy. It's like a pseudo harem anime. It's kind of in that vein, but a bit different, a bit weirder.
It definitely has the harem tag. I will confirm that.
Yeah. It's a harem anime, but like with a few modifications. Which hey, that gives it better odds. Unfortunately, it's terrible. It's still bad. It's still awful.
It's still bad.
Yeah, it's so poor. The execution from start to finish, it's not a good show. It's not a good show. So
but you don't
somehow
seem like you're like fully in the abyss though, Rem. Like, so surely it must have done something, right?
Oh no, it was only 3 episodes, so thank God. But like, it didn't throw me in the abyss, but I think that's because it's just doesn't pack enough punch to. It's not interesting enough to throw me into the abyss. It doesn't do enough to make me feel that strongly.
Well, what does it make you feel, Rem?
It makes me feel... What does it make me feel, Shaun? I don't know, vague sense of apathetic disappointment? Makes me just feel like I've wasted my time watching it. Time that I will never get back.
Yeah. That 45 minutes is gone forever, my guy.
It's rough. It's more than 45 minutes. Each episode 23 minutes, all right?
All right.
And so I had to watch 3 of them. But nonetheless, let's talk about Rokudo's Bad Girls. We open up with Rokudo, our main character. He's getting bullied, and he's getting bullied by his bullies kind of playfully tossing food into his mouth.
Yeah, that's how you bully people, right, Rem?
like you know, if you pull out a bunch of grapes with the boys, you're gonna start tossing it into each other's mouths.
Mm-hmm.
You love grape in the boys' mouths. It's just what happens, all right?
Oh, fucking hell, that's a dated internet reference. Holy shit. Like, I felt my soul leave my body for a second when I heard that particular combination of words.
Rest in peace. Anyway, it's just that, but apparently it's very serious bullying. Like, I kind of get how it's bullying, but it doesn't. I'll be honest, if that's the worst of it, and it seems to be, hey, I don't want to diminish any kind of bullying, but like that, if that's how I had been bullied in school, I'd take it. That's fine. I feel like most people, like, even whether heavily bullied or otherwise, will face bullying worse than this. So I just feel like it's not a great intro example, to being like, wow, isn't this fucked up? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of rude.
I mean, he does get punched in the face a couple times later on.
Well, sure, but that doesn't... I don't know if that's part of, like, the main bullying, or if that's part of the weird escalation because of what happens in the show.
Right.
Like, I don't know if he gets his ass beat on a regular basis, or if he only starts getting his ass beat because of what happens in the show. Like, it's not established. If you opened up with him getting his ass beat, I'd be like, oh, I understand. I get it. I understand the dynamics here. Rokudo, he has 2 friends, Colonel and Chief. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about them.
But they're such integral characters, Rem.
They're around a lot, and they occasionally do stuff. I don't care. All three of them are staring at the delinquent girl's thighs, and they're like, oh, fucking yeah, look at her thighs. But then they get caught and yelled at. They hide in the bathroom where they start some dialogue being like, we should be allowed to creep on her thighs. If she doesn't want us staring blatantly right at her thighs, then why is she wearing a skirt? Which,
First of all, it's the school uniform. Second of all,
yeah, maybe you incel assholes deserve to get bullied. Like,
you are firmly on the bully's side in this situation.
Yeah, it's like, hey, don't bully. But if people are being creepy fucking weirdos, then like, I don't know.
A little ass kicking seems appropriate.
Maybe a little bit of course correction is necessary. At least a firm and possibly threatening talking to. It's very quickly, we have established that our main characters are wildly unsympathetic. It's like they're only getting lightly bullied and they have some terrible, creepy ideas about women. And when it comes to terrible, creepy ideas about women, oh, we'll get into more just with how the show functions.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, look, man, I'm going to be honest with you, Rem. I didn't show you this because I thought, like, the show did anything particularly unique. I showed you this because, my God, some of the quote-unquote ideals in this show brought some concerns to my mind.
The most unique thing about the show is its art style. I don't know if I would say it's a good art style, but
Right.
It's a bit different. So
Lots of thick lines.
Yeah, I guess it feels a little bit like modernized retro, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like it feels early amateur anime.
Like something
And
from the early 2000s, perhaps.
Yeah, and just like modernized a bit.
Yep.
But take from that what you will. I think some people will like it. I don't think I was a fan, but it was different. Nonetheless, the guys, they go hang out at their home and they're playing games when the protagonist gets a package from his dead grandpa. Ooh, strange. Did his grandpa recently die? No, he died years and years and years ago.
Put a heavy delay on that delivery, didn't he?
Very odd. And it doesn't feel like it was delayed for a reason. It's not like, make sure he gets this in high school. Like, I don't know. They just shipped through FedEx or something, and that's how FedEx works.
Well, there goes that FedEx sponsorship we've been wanting.
That's fine. That's fine. FedEx,
it's funny
the worst of them all.
We would never want a FedEx sponsorship. Fuck
Yeah.
FedEx.
So it's a scroll, and they're like, I wonder what this scroll could be. And they're like, do you know what it could be? And Rokudo's like, I don't know. I mean, there was this one time where my grandpa would tell me about this ancient scroll with secret powers and spells within it. So maybe that's it. And it's like, yeah, of course that's it. It's like, ah, shucks, this is so weird. I wonder what it could be. I mean, there's one thing it obviously is. Do you think it's that? Yes, I do.
I don't know, Rem. Could be anything.
Could be any kind of mysterious scroll from your dead grandfather who talked about a very particular mysterious scroll. Who knows? Why was this given to, like, his grandson as opposed to his own son or anything? Because there are no adults in this show. There's not a single adult. No. Adults don't exist.
The only one is dead, and dead after several years.
Yeah, maybe that's why there's so many delinquents. Because I want to mention, every character's a delinquent. Every single character in this show is a delinquent. Except, like, I guess the misfit main three, even though they're delinquents in their own way.
Yeah, they're a different flavor of delinquent.
And then there's one, like, class representative that isn't. And genuinely, I think the list ends there. Every other character, and we see dozens, is a delinquent. It's very odd, but it's how they justify it, because the scroll magically makes it so that girls, but only bad girls, like Rokudo. And now you might be thinking, okay, so it makes them crush on him. That's a bit of an interesting conceit. Oh, no, you misunderstand.
Mm-hmm.
When I say they like him, right, I mean that they are mentally enslaved by him and will do everything he says to do in the most literal, strictest fashion, like it's some twisted genie nonsense. You might think, hey, Remington, that doesn't fit the premise of the show. That's not what having a crush or liking or loving someone means. So what the fuck? Why do they lose all sense of self and agency on this matter? Great question. Moving on.
Yeah, hey Rem, remember when I mentioned that I felt consent was probably the most important thing in starting a relationship?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Rokudo, he feels a little bad about it, right? He's like, "Oh, shucks."
Not bad enough, I'd say.
Yeah, he's like, "Ah, shucks. This isn't I'm manipulating these women and controlling them. And so I'm going to try to do that less by controlling them in what ways I see as benevolent, which, hey bud, still manipulation. Even if you're like, "No, you don't understand. I'm manipulating girls, but in a way that's good for them, you know?" Like,
Fucking
Jesus
hell.
Christ, you patriarchal fuck, get the hell out of here. Two, even when it's not deliberate, still everything he is accomplishing, it is only done because all of these powerful women cannot disagree with him or oppose him in any meaningful way, regardless. And so it's like, okay, fucking hell.
It's kind of like conceptually one of the worst things we've ever seen, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be. Because here's
No.
the thing, it would be still a problematic, but way less problematic premise if it did what it said on the tin and the girls just like fall for Rokudo, right? And they keep their personalities. Rokudo would be like, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable with you beating the shit out of everybody." And they'd be like, "Hey, it's what I need to do, especially to protect you, boo." And then he'd be like, "Yeah, but I don't know." And they're like, "Oh, you're so cute when you don't understand," right? And you'd have this type of dynamic, which still would be problematic, but you'd be like, "Hey, at least they're still a person."
Yep.
At least they still keep to themselves.
But hey, Rem, don't worry. I can assuage some of your issues. Apparently, as the show goes on and the effects wane and he doesn't have that control over them anymore. When
Sure.
does that happen? Hard to say.
That's because one of the goals is to make these delinquent girls into good girls, where they will no longer be influenced by him. But then, I imagine, in large part, as they become good girls because of the reformation, many of them will still harbor feelings for him because he's helped them become good girls. But then it's like, is that legitimate because it's founded on bad principles? Anyway.
Weird. It's like you read the manga. Huh, interesting. It's almost like you had an exact idea of where this was going. By the way, if you want to feel traumatized, 233 chapters, apparently.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so skipping forward, eventually we meet who I guess is the main girl, and that's Rana. Rana is a Goliath of a woman who kicks ass. She just kicks delinquent ass for fun. It's specifically stated like, "Oh, why does she do it? Why does she attack gangs and yakuza and delinquents?" And you might think, "Oh, it's because she has some moral principles." But no, it's like, because she gets mad. It's like, oh, okay, we're not gonna even try to give her character then.
Don't be ridiculous.
And it's like, okay, but she becomes the main bodyguard of Rokudo, and she's always there and really falls for him. So surely let's see what her personality is like. All right, now that we've covered that, I really want to emphasize, some of you listeners, you're like, oh, good old Remington using hyperbole to good comedic effect. Well done, sir. But what is she actually like? She literally has no personality. I cannot emphasize, she has no sense of self. There's zero personality beyond being a bodyguard and following everything Rokudo says. She doesn't have anything beyond that. She isn't anything beyond that. Not even a little bit. There's not a single quirk, a single trait that she has beyond being Rokudo's bodyguard, doing whatever he says.
But Remington, she's also crazy strong, angry, and loves him, apparently.
The crazy strong is just a physical characteristic, and the loving him is just part of the scroll magic. Like,
yeah, you're right. I was just trying to give you the other things that people... I don't think there are any defenders of this show, Rem. At least I hope there aren't. I really hope they're not. But, like, you gotta, like, make sure you cover all the bases. Otherwise, the weird, needy incels are gonna come out and send us more emails right after they get done writing the ones they've written already about Attack on Titan.
Yeah, and then so we continue on, right? And we get to a point where, like, Rana, she defends Rokudo, but Rokudo feels bad about it. So he's like, "Rana, no, don't be fighting others on my behalf. Don't do that. That's bad." And so she doesn't. So she gets her ass kicked, right? Because weird monkey's paw situation. She's like, you said not to hurt others or some bullshit. And he's like, oh, but now I feel bad, which he should. He's and he's like, oh man, and now I feel bad. I don't want her to fight my battles for me or get hurt because I need to be a man. I need to be a manly man. That's not, what the fuck? That's not the point here. That's not the moral. So
Rem, there are morals in this?
It thinks there are. Rokudo feels the need to be a manly man, and so he doesn't want girls to fight his battles because that's not chivalrous, I guess.
Oof, man, that feels gross.
This show really thinks it's like, this show is written by someone who's like, yeah, I'm a defender of women. And Jesus Christ, their ideas about women are some of the worst I've ever seen.
Which is saying something because we've been doing the show for 5 years.
It's fucking rough. And so he goes and he confronts like the main bully and he's like, I'm gonna fight them. And he's like, and I don't need Rana to help me. He gets his ass whooped by the bully, but it's kind of like, I think the mold they're trying to fit Rokudo in is like a Deku, right?
Yeah.
From My Hero Academia, where it's like, hey, even when he's against the odds, even when he's getting his ass whooped a little bit, he'll keep on fighting. Except instead of like keep on fighting, it's just he'll keep on getting his ass beat for no reason.
Yes.
This accomplishes literally nothing.
Except we get to watch him get beat up, which is kind of nice.
He gets beat up, and then eventually he's like, not intentionally, he mentions this is accidental, where he's like, Rana, help me. And then Rana kicks the shit out of the bully. Which kind of begs the question, what the fuck was this all about? Well, like, what was this trying to accomplish? We get to episode 2, right? Within episode 2, after Rana has pummeled him, the bully, a little bit, and hospitalizes him, I believe, Rokudo goes and he takes a moment to himself to cry because a girl defended himself, and a girl defended him, and that makes him not a man. Y'all, if your masculinity is this fragile, look, I'm gonna be up front, all right? If I'm not the strongest guy and I'm being harassed, and my big buff girlfriend is like, yo, don't be fucking with him or I'll kick your ass, and they're like, psh, nah, and then she goes and kicks their ass, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, I have failed. I'm gonna be like, thank you, I really appreciate that. And then I will support her in other ways, all right? And make the relationship fulfilling and rewarding and boost her life in other ways beyond like my physical strength.
Because anime context, we drink our respect women juice.
Yeah, it's like, hey, people come in all shapes and sizes. That's okay. All right? It is okay. You don't need to fit within one little gender essentialist box that is mandated from the cosmos. It's okay to deviate from that. That is perfectly fine. That doesn't make you less of a person in any way. Like, as long as you're striving to be a good human who is kind and helpful and supportive of others, you're fine. You're doing okay. That can come in many shapes and sizes. Maybe you're helpful by defending others and kicking some ass. Maybe you're just helpful from being like emotionally supportive or a good mentor or teacher or helping, blah, 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 blah. Stop trying to box yourself up and then feeling bad that you don't fit this highly limited box. It's harmful for you. It's harmful for others. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because, me and Remington, we are the pictures of masculinity, and that's fine.
Look, I get it. Not everybody can be as just hyper masculine as I am, but
what with our incredibly long flowing locks,
look, as the most masculine man of all time, which is an official title, unofficial title. I give all men permission to be less quote unquote manly, whatever bullshit definition you ascribe to that, all right? I say it's okay. And you can trust my opinion because I am the most masculine. I am the biggest Chad, all right? It's official. It's written. It's been determined. No one can disagree. And so So anybody who puts any stock into that has to listen to my opinion, and therefore needs to figure out their own idea of what being a good person means. There you go. There you go. It's settled. It's settled.
You've taken your high position on top of the masculine throne.
I try not to be braggadocious about it, Shaun, because ultimately, look, I don't put much stock into it. But for anybody who needed to hear it, if I gotta flex that authority, then I will, for the greater good.
You know, I'm glad that we have you here on this podcast run by two cis white men. It really makes all of your points all the more clear and all the more audible.
So we continue on. Uno is feeling bad for very stupid reasons. Then we cut to the bully, right? Who just got his ass kicked by Rana. And the bully is like, wow, I guess Rokudo isn't so weak after all. What? Because he needed...
got a girl to beat you up?
Yeah, it's like, I don't think asking for help makes him weaker, but following your own paradigm, right? Like, looking at the bully's point of view, why is that respectable from his perspective? And from that point on, the bully is like, hey, Rokudo, you're actually my best friend. You are my best friend because you got a big woman to beat me up. And
I mean, to be fair, Rem, that's how we became friends.
I got a big woman to beat you up, and you're like, thanks, man. That's what I
needed that. I'm starved for all kinds of physical contact, and that hit the mark for the time.
I just feel like so much is missing from this equation. So now Bully and Rokudo are best friends. In fact, Rokudo befriends all of the associated delinquents that the bully is over. So, okay, where the fuck did that come from? Kind of just because, I suppose. Rokudo's warned that the top dog of the school is after him, right? But then he finds out that the top dog of the school, it's not some big intimidating dude. It is a pink-haired lolly girl. What? Crazy! You bet you guys weren't expecting that. What a twist! What a novel idea!
You don't sound very convinced, Ro.
Guys, all right, listen in to any writers of any show.
Of anything, really.
Back 50 years ago, all right? This twist was kind of innovative. You see that Samus, without her suit, holy shit, it's a girl, a kick-ass space marine. You're like, wow, that's unexpected, right? You have a few moments like that decades and decades ago, but they've been happening very frequently for all those decades. It's never stopped. I need everyone to realize, being like, hey, it's a badass and a woman, that's not a surprise. Women can just be badass. You can be like, hey, it's a badass. Look at her. And it's like, yeah, she is crazy. And notice that, like, the reveal of their gender wasn't relevant to that equation because it doesn't need to be. And it's kind of weird that you think it needs to be.
I mean, it's hilarious because this is a problem we literally had in the second episode of our podcast. Remember when Asuna was introduced?
Yeah, oh yes. In similar fashion, and you could be like, oh, but this isn't just any girl. It's a small girl with pink hair. I repeat what I said. All right? I repeat what I said. Just because of some people's preconceived ideas where they like, hey, girls of small stature and or with pink hair can't be badasses. So it's crazy when they are. They can. They are. It's fine. Really just shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Like, looking at your own girlfriend, she's one of the most badass people I know.
As someone with a short girlfriend that is a badass, like, in every single way, like, trust me, I know she has more, like, physical power, presence, and aggression than most huge guys I know. Like, it ain't even close.
I've seen her knock those huge guys on their asses.
Yeah, it's not like a surprising, crazy thing. It's just literally how the world works.
Yeah.
And you're weird if you keep trying to emphasize that. That being said, this character, Osanada, the top dog, she is trash. She's pretty bad. She's like, oh, even though I'm a senior in school, I look like a little girl and act like a little girl. Oh, but the reason I'm a top dog is because I can punch hard? and that's it. Which I'll be honest, I feel like if you're like the top dog of the school and there's like some discussions about what I would describe as like a gang merger, the equivalent of where it's like, hey, my gang is going to join your gang. We're going to come together, right? There's discussions of that. You would expect that for that to be the top dog, it's not just about hitting hard, because a lot of delinquents are going to be able to hit hard, but you need to have that organizational control, right? That's where it's going to come in handy. She doesn't. She's wildly incompetent on that front. Literally, she can only hit hard. Like, that's a bodyguard role. That's not...
Yeah, you're not going to have your big bad evil guy be just some dude who can hit really hard.
Yeah, it's just not interesting. But the Rokudo is like, oh, you know what? If I can make her a good girl, then I can free her from the spell. No, he has never had this thought of Rana. He has never once thought, oh, if I can turn Rana into a good girl, then I can help her or something. Despite Rana also, I don't know why she's a bad girl. In fact, if we talk about the philosophy, let's go to the philosophy corner for a moment, Shaun, all right? Just take a few steps.
All right, yeah. I don't get to come here very often because you're very exclusive, so it's nice for you to let me in every once in a while.
All right. Let's talk about what a bad girl is, okay?
Okay, all right.
The philosophy of bad girls. Here's what we know about bad girls, all right? Bad girls tend to be delinquents. We know that bad girl shit is physically assaulting others, right? Being involved in gang activity, all right? So those I can sort of understand, especially if we're viewing it from a morality point of view. You are actively antagonizing and harming others for little to no gain overall. Rana, she attacks others, and you could argue, well, she's only attacking dangerous or bad people, but she still classifies as a bad girl. So we can see that even if you are harming bad people, any harm is bad. Okay, then we can see, for example, the bully's girlfriend. All right, bully's girlfriend, she's a bad girl. We never see her hurt or attack somebody else, but we see she's with someone who does. So there's an element of association. If you are complicit in anybody who harms someone else, then you are a bad girl. But then we see just a bunch of regular ass girls who are called delinquents, who have different colored hairs or different hairstyles.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they decided to equate delinquent with gyaru, which doesn't work. So there could be some overlap, but it's two different, categories.
So now we get into really the crux of it, and it is, if you're alternative in any way, if you deviate from strict societal norms, then you are a bad girl, regardless of what those societal norms may be. If they say, hey, changing your hair color, that's beyond societal norms, well, shame on you, you're a bad girl, all right? If you tan, you're a bad girl.
Well, I mean, that one makes sense, because that's how you get skin cancer.
Okay, all right, if you support skin cancer, there we go.
Yeah.
But this leads to a problematic view, Shaun.
You don't say.
Because that means that if we were to go in our little time machine, right?
Right.
Or really, I'll be honest, if we stuck in modern Japan, let's just stick to modern Japan.
Oh yeah, no, modern Japan is more than enough. Trust me.
And if we have a girl who is strongly advocating LGBTQ plus rights and normalization, that's a bad girl right there. That's a bad girl.
That doesn't sound right to me. That sounds kind of bad.
It seems a little bit weird. It also brings up an interesting thing, because through this, there was one non-delinquent character in this whole show.
Right.
And it's the class rep.
Yep.
The fact that she's not a delinquent, from all that we've learned she's horribly homophobic. We have learned she is hyper conservative, traditional Japanese values.
Holy shit.
and so amazingly, despite not knowing anything about this character,
you know everything about this character.
Somehow, we know more about that character than any other.
Holy shit. Oh, God. Oh, I need a nap. My God.
And they basically, confirm my interpretation by talking. There's this, once again, weird, misogynist, patriarchal rant from the main characters being like, oh, yes, we used to have traditional femininity, but now all of these delinquent bad girls are going against that. So they basically confirm my reading here.
Yeah, no. Hey, bud, Rem, I chose this one because it, like, was completely bonkers in concept and theming, and I was like, well, I gotta show Rem this because he's gonna have a field day with it.
Episode 3, a bunch of boring stuff happens.
It doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter. I only showed you 3 episodes to give you just, like, you know, our criteria. We have a criteria. We had to meet it. Genuinely, the thing to talk about here is what they can, the whole premise, the whole concept, the whole bad girls thing. That's what needed to talk about.
Yeah, a little bit of philosophy. We don't need to talk about how in episode 3, somehow the two friends, misfit friends, find a barrel of wax and spill it all over a bunch of thugs. I don't know what the fuck happened there, but it happened.
Especially considering wax has to be fairly.
Yeah, it was liquidized wax, and so I don't know where they found a barrel of hot wax.
I've seen the Saw movies. I know that doesn't go well for some people.
But yeah, this show has some of the most problematic philosophy and messaging that I've ever seen. Despite this show thinks that it is very supportive of women, and I would strongly disagree. It is gender essentialist garbage in a lot of problematic and outdated, and just once again, it's not just that these are harmful, it's that they're wildly inaccurate. It's a bad show. And then even if I didn't talk about any of those things, it would still be lousily written, it would still be poorly paced. Its characters are all bland ass trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's completely bland and boring, except for the shit that's actively problematic and bad.
Can you believe that this was originally written in 2016?
Oh, fuck.
Doesn't exactly bode well, does it?
Yeah.
And weirdly got an anime adaptation 2 years after the manga finished, which I don't know who made the decisions at this studio. They made some bad decisions. They made a lot of bad decisions. Oh, God. But yeah, I think we've covered it. Any guesses on what the MAL score for Rokudo's Bad Girls is?
I don't think many people are gonna love it. I don't know, I'm struggling to imagine an audience, which usually indicates that it's gonna be somewhere in the 6 range. I think it's going to be 6 point... Alright.
How much faith do you want to have in the weebs is the real question.
I don't have a lot of faith in the weebs, but I'm struggling to think of weebs who would like this. Like, I feel like even the weebs who are into it are still just thinking like a 6 or a 7, maybe an 8.
Right.
Like, I cannot fathom who is rating this like a 10 out of 10. And it's not just to say I disagree with it. It's that I can't. Usually I'm at least good at picturing who might like it.
Yeah.
I can't. So I think it's going to be the lower half of 6, which is always dangerous because already when we're dipping into 6. So I don't want to deviate too far below the lower half of 6. Between 6.3 and 6.5, let's say 6.47.
Is that your final answer?
6.46. Final answer. Lock it in.
All right. Well, Rem, good news for you. Only about 16,000 people took the time out of their day to watch and review this. So it's not like it's spreading its gospel everywhere. But of those 16,000 people, Rokudo's Bad Girls is sitting quite disgustingly high at 6.43.
Oh!
You were so close, bud. You were so
if I just
close.
kept inching my way down, if I just kept... But I was like, already, if it feels insanely risky to go to below like 6.5, because if you go below 7, all right, you're saying actively it's bad and the weebs don't like it.
Right.
If you go below like 6.7, the weebs really don't like it. Below 6.5, the weebs hate it.
Yeah.
There's some that will like it, but overwhelmingly, it's seen as an actively bad show by nearly everybody. And that's risky. That's risky territory. So I was already I was like, I don't know. I thought about going higher, honestly.
Yeah, no, Rem, you hit the nail on the head. Everybody fucking hates this show for the most part. Except for the really weird people. A total of 1,400 people gave this show a 9 or 10 out of 10.
Oh, man.
Which I don't understand those people. Or rather, I do understand them and I hate them. But
yeah.
Generally speaking, most people put this at a 6. A lot of people, the majority's in the 7s, as you'd expect, and then a lot in the 5s and 4s. It's very much like small numbers definitely help carry this, but everybody who watched this show, who has any sense, fucking despise it and all of its theming. Because, motherfuck, it is one of the worst, like, philosophies I've seen in a show in a long-ass time, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some schlock in my day, Rem, and this is... When I watched this one, when it originally came out in the seasonals, I was like, I cannot believe this got greenlit.
And once
Like,
again, I feel like you could have at least made a show that appeals to the weebs. I think with the premise, you're probably going to lose me no matter what. It's going to be hard to
keep on to you.
get me back on board. But with the premise, I feel like a lot of weebs would have been initially interested, but you didn't even give the weebs what they want. So, like, who are you appealing to?
Exactly.
Not only is it a bad
hentai plot. It's like a bad hentai plot that just didn't get off the ground.
Yeah, it's like, hey, not only are you a bad show, but you're not even marketable.
Oof, fucking brutal, my guy. But I agree with you completely, and thank you for destroying this for me. That's what I really wanted. Because, I mean, I can complain about any show I want on the internet, but, you know, I'm just some guy.
I'm here to tear shows apart and give some life advice and some good philosophy.
Yeah, so yeah, treat people good. End of story. Stop with this gender conformist bullshit. It's a
Hell
social
yeah.
construct anyways. Alrighty.
Which isn't to say, hey, if you want to, because you genuinely prefer to be gender conforming, that's okay, as long as it's a deliberate choice and not one that you're
not letting
making...
society choose for you.
Yeah, you're not letting society choose for you, and you're not ascribing that as the mandated way for others, all right? Then, totally fine. Live your life. Live your life!
Yeah, just don't be what others want you to be.
Yeah.
Be who you are and who you want to be, while also not, you know, being a dick to other people. It's pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. I feel like this is self-explanatory. Why do we have to say this?
Well,
We shouldn't have to say this.
yeah, you'd think.
God, just go watch Mob Psycho. It'll help. It'll help you be a good person. Trust me. So I guess with that in mind, hey Ram, any chance you'd like to watch? Just say no.
No, I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't.
no. Do you think anybody should?
I cannot fathom who would enjoy this show at all.
It's not even a good hate watch.
Yeah, like, it's not worth it. You've listened to the podcast episode, that's more than enough.
Yeah, you can look up pictures and see the weird art style and be like, okay, yeah, those lines are thicker.
Yeah, it's and like the eyes are a bit bigger, and that's it.
That's it. But yeah. So with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoy Remington just breaking down all kinds of gender norms, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, or wherever, and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/anime-out-of-context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington do occasionally play video games very poorly. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/anime-out-of-context, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
Well, as always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate.
It's been a while since we had a couple of those.
But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who will have zero personality, but will serve as our bodyguards. And on that list, we have...
Like
I know, I don't like it either. My name is First Now, bitch. Oops, sorry, I was just overly excited. You're not a bitch. Please don't hurt me. Drunk Quetzalcoatl for Anime Out of Context mascot, says Miska, earnestly expecting praise and reward. Miska only has 973 episodes of One Piece to go before she's caught up, says Miska as she pulls out a 6-pack of Red Bull. Zombie Stomp, Xanax, Zayden, Zach Page. Your weekly reminder to wash your pits, Shaun. Yandere Neko, Zax, why Shaun, why Shaun?
Reminder. I do that anyways.
Well, because you get a reminder. When is the Force Fairy 5 revisit? Weekly haiku about Papa Shaun. A year has passed, for better or for worse. Happy birthday, Shaun. Hashtag Sawdust Rebellion. Watch Eva and I'll write a poem every day for a month. Watashi wa Remington de Jibin no Bonya ga daisuke desu. Yummy desu. Whack me out gently, Utah #1. Username, Unhinged Prax admires your podcast. Truckoon Appreciation Society. Totally God's Angel. Titan CNH. Thopter Not King. Ruler of Ornai. This is not a username. I'm literally begging Shaun to show Remington some actual good anime for a change, like Yu Yu Hakusho. The Villain Behind Glasses wants Welcome Cheetase revisit. The Susannator. The Drums of Liberation will save us from all hentai. The contract expired. Strike is happening. Not jobless, but could be reincarnated as a puppy. The Capybara are excited to show off their Neo Armstrong Cyclone Jet Armstrong cannon. That time I got reincarnated as the guy who changes his name every week. That guy that makes Rem say cunt at least once a week. Thanks for being the best thing to listen to while working out. Y'all's mostly agreeable takes distract me just enough. Turban, Tattooed Weep, Swedish Weep, Super Zeus, Steve Celestino, Stacy's Mom, Snaky Pie, Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. She'll gum my balls when we fairly, she'll call me homie, I'm such a family guy. Seth Senju, Sugoi Dekai, that's what she said. See you, Space Cowboy, the White Swords guy. Royal Highness of Touch Me Not, Ross Palmer. Rest in peace, Bob Barker, the OG waifu. Everyone let out a doo-doo-doo-doo in remembrance. Rhiannon Williams. Rem uses the drums of liberation to free all weeps from bad anime. Rem loves the big hole. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Rikuko Shinju review Copium. Professor Fox. Pro tips out of context. If you need a good deed for the day, collect parking tickets and tag them to every Tesla you can find. Pockwell Musico. Other McNutt. Oh no, I fucked my sister. Oops. Nitsaira. Nice legs. Daisy Dukes makes a man go doo-doo-doo. Mikeka7 Hierto, Becca Zap, making fake Mal accounts so I can rate Forest Fairy 5 10 out of 10. Macaroni Uchiza, love AOT, and like the pod after 6 months of focused listening. Lonely Ginger Weep, Link Jokerl, Lick My Ass and Call Me Mikasa. Liam Dunn, Kara Uchiha, Cassidy, Just Monica, more like Just Haruhi. Jax, Jam Hands, Jacob Iverson, Iono is Best Girl. I know I have a new show to watch when Rem describes titty-defying physics. Hunter Tane, Hunter Davies, Hey Rem, Hey Shaun, let's do Full Metal Alchemist Revisit, Hey Rem, Portuguese Word of the Week, Akabara Minas Ideas, Glenn Michael Dolan, George Edward Bottom, a.k.a. Bear Trap, a.k.a. Lin-Manuel Miranda Muse, a.k.a. Fratricide of Autotop, Shaun loves getting pegged, Farmer Weeb wants Rem to know he can PM me directly for more lolly etchy shows you can watch at 10x speed, Fandide, F-Bomb, Erica McCorkle, El Borden Quenyo, Daniel Riot, Daddy Rem, will he kiss my weeaboo and make it better? Now Samantha calling Daddy Shaun an accident is rude. Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story. Cryptid MILF, Creed 13, Country Fried Goth here to remind you that you just lost the game. Cheese Monkey, Cat Girl's the best girl, so give them cute little paws. Brock Hart for Judude says, let's go, Calais Rub and Para. Brendan's Grandma Slit, greater than Vaporeon, Big Blue Bear Boy, Burt B. Phlegm. Anyone else find it concerning that all the step-sibling porn really took off during COVID? Anime out of context ruined my happy sugar life. And with the motion of adoption now complete, we turn to our next motion, Your Honor, the case of one Shuichi Kagaya. Amazing Muffin, Elise Howard, Alabama Weeb with too many peaker stickers on car, every day is a driving risk. AJ Tunnels, a tracheotomy in the bush is worth 2 in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese. AJ Honey, Aisha Taguchi, A Days, Aaron Hegland, and Dot. Now we move on to Boy Wizard, where everybody is going to get their own taboo. We expect you to commit these taboos within the next week.
I don't know if we can do that, Brad.
Well, here we are. It's fine. Probably. I don't know what they are yet.
This is why we have a disclaimer.
What does Daddy Rem say to Mommy Shaun? You need to flirt while in a relationship. Fucking good luck. That does mean if you're not in a relationship, you need to get in a relationship and then flirt while in that relationship.
I mean, to be fair, I think I flirted with you whether or not I was single.
It's true. Likewise. Vincent Calabrese, refusing a gift. The only one, Spicitis, returns after hiatus, now a tier higher, talking about sex. You need to talk about sex at some point. The Drew
that one shouldn't be a taboo.
The Drew is Sour Cheese EP, discussing Trump. Have fun, especially if it's with family who disagrees with you, wherever your thoughts lie. The Canadian Anime Stoner, you get to discuss gun culture. We've gone into the political section, I see. Rowdy-O.
These are less taboos and more like we're going to get in trouble with certain parts of Twitter.
Rowdy-O, being rude to service staff.
Oh, God.
It's unfortunate, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. I don't make the rules. Rent a Girlfriend Revisit now or make Rem watch more Sword Art Online. Bribery.
That's not a taboo. That's just a crime. That's just straight up illegal.
Wait, what are laws but the greatest of taboos? Please consider
human fucking transmutation.
Please consider the Magical Girl musical of Healer Girl. I want to know Rem's opinion. Not cleaning up after your dog. You need to let your dog take a fat shit and not do anything about it. PL Mayor, you get the big hole. For you, not saying hello. Just walk right by a close friend and just don't acknowledge them. Nightshade Blade, you get eating dog or horse meat. It's your call.
You get a choice.
Monogatari is everything you guys say you want in anime. This week characters are straight lolly pervert and rich girl. Spitting in public.
You think people are going to realize that we really batch recorded these based on the Patreon names?
Probably, yeah. They'll be like, hey, I changed it. What the fuck? Don't worry. Hey, in 2 weeks, you'll hear what you changed it to. My God is Overlord review. You need to burp in public. Miguel DeLeon, you get racist and sexist jokes. You need both.
Both, huh?
Yeah.
That's maybe. Look, the safest bet is to do it about your own. That's the safest you can do.
Massimo Martelli, you get rude finger gestures. A broad category, but have fun with it. Latino just heard someone whisper, I want to eat your pancreas. You are going to get smoking cigarettes near others. Hopefully you already smoke, otherwise you need to take up a nasty habit.
Smoke, please.
Cougar, you get the big hole. Kafka is my mommy, standing too close to someone. Really invade that personal space. I, Shaun Rollins, have sexy dreams where Kirito and Remington are cheating on their lovers, Asuna and myself. You have to avoid eye contact. Happy birthday, Shaun. Anything special you want in the P.O. box? He wants all the Dockies, of course.
No, I'm good.
Fan art is also a big one. He would love fan art.
Oh, dear.
The hornier, the better.
No, I don't.
The reason I'm asking is because he would feel self-conscious about asking. Like, he doesn't want it known that that's what he wants, but that is what he wants.
I don't want gifts. I'm good.
See, he's trying to be humble. Don't buy it. Crimson Reapers, just because of the scythes, you get... Oh, wait, did I give you one? Happy birthday, Shaun. Happy birthday, Shaun. You're going to get eating before everyone is served. Crimson Reapers, just because of the scythes, you get serving yourself first at the table, which I'll be honest, sounds a lot like the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
It feels nearly identical. I'll also be honest.
If nobody serves themselves first, they're not going to eat.
Yeah, and I think it's fine to, one, serve yourself first, or two, I think it's fine to start eating before everybody gets their food. Like, wait like a minute or two. But if there's a significant time disparity, like, basically, it's fine.
The only exception I would say is if it's like a super formal event with like predetermined rules, but like if it's just with your family, like, who cares?
Yeah, and maybe if it's just like two people, maybe then. But if it's a group get together, it genuinely doesn't matter. Chromatic, you get eating before the host gets to the table. I don't know. I feel like the concept of the host is somewhat outdated as well. These are old people taboos. Carver 271, doing drugs. You get to do drugs. Congratulations. Just any or all, I guess. Cameron Coates, drinking in public spaces. So I like some of these are very tame. Some of these, good luck.
Yeah, and some of these are just crimes.
Yeah, Blood Cell, not the bitch boy white ones. Use a phone at dinner. Beethoven. Oh wait, no, I just did Beethoven 12-1, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Animated Z, you talk about business at the dinner table.
That could mean fucking anything.
All Father counts 31 days as of September 19th. We're in the home stretch, boys. You get to talk about politics at the dinner table. And now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun will give everybody, as Joey Wheeler, an outdated gender norm and how to move beyond it.
Oh, wow. Actually, good advice. Okay.
We start with Hermione, Pegs, Harry, and Ron.
All right, I need to pull up a list of gender norms because I purposely don't try to think about them.
You can think of some.
Sure. All right, here goes. For the first one, the most obvious one, it should always be the guy who pays for a meal. Don't do that shit, alright? Talk with who you're eating with and come to an agreement.
It's all right. It's all right for the girls to pay. It's all right to go 50-50.
It is still okay to treat them if you really want to. Just don't make it like the standard.
Yeah, it's okay for any payment system that feels right, given the particular pairing, all right? Have a human goddamn conversation. Next up, we got my dear old mom.
Holding doors for the elderly and the opposite sex. Hey, spoiler alert, if you hold it for anybody you hold it for will be happy, you know?
Yeah,
just do it.
Ladies can hold the doors open for others. Guys can hold the doors open for guys. It's fine. It doesn't need to be this weird gender thing. Just be kind to each other. Next up, we got Blue Baron 15.
Hey, dudes, if you want to wear a skirt, go for it.
Yeah, don't feel limited. Look, there's this idea that, like, women's fashion is far more restricted. Like, women is just for women and guys are all relatively unisex. It's fine. If you think it looks nice or feels nice, fucking wear it. All right? Abstracted male philosopher type seeking Christian swinger.
Oh, this is awkward. Let's see. You know, I think it's a good thing that I'm having trouble thinking of gender norms.
Is it a good thing, or does it just signal that you're not aware?
Oof. I'm gonna hope it's the former. Because hopefully by now I would have been properly educated, and I feel like I'm doing all right. Let's see. There are children screaming outside. That's not a gender norm, that's just what's happening right now, and they are very loud since I'm on the second floor. Let's go with, hey guys, it's okay to cry. Pretty straightforward. Showing emotions is fine. Don't bottle that shit up. It's how you end up like me.
It don't make you less of a person to have and show emotions, especially if you haven't, and showing them with people who will be there to support you, all right? They're there for you. They care about you, and they want to help you out, all right? Last but not least, we got second to none.
Okay, everybody can be attractive. Whether they're strong women or, like, scrawny men, does not matter, all right? Everybody can be attractive in their own way. It's the person that matters, not the physicality.
Yeah, people come in all shapes and sizes, and look, while certain people have different kinds of preferences, the preferences are all over the board, homie. There's gonna be plenty of people who find whatever you got attractive. There's not an objective, this is or this isn't. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
I am not a man. Wait, what? No.
I am not forcing the egg through my body. That is not what's going on here.
I'll take your sweet ass.
Okay, let's get into it.
What?
Well, what does it make you feel, Rem?
It makes me feel the horniest I've ever been in my goddamn life.
Today, we're going to be talking about our good old pal, Bill Hitler. Would you have ever expected, the folks over in Japan to make an anime that was heavily based around some of Williams' works?
I guess it makes sense. I just don't know what to expect.
This felt like the child of 1984 and Spring Awakening, but comedy.
See, I only read Springtime for Hitler, so I...
Yeah, basically the same, you know?
My girlfriend is very much aware that Hitler is my celebrity chief.
You know, if they've not committed at least one genocide, then you gotta really reevaluate. But other war crimes are available.